The Magnificent Seven is an American Western television series based on the 1960 movie, which was itself a remake of Japanese classic Seven Samurai. The series aired between 1998 and 2000. The cast of The Magnificent Seven included Michael Biehn, Ron Perlman and Dale Midkiff. Robert Vaughn, who played one of the seven gunmen in the original 1960 movie, guest-starred frequently as a crusading judge. The series was largely filmed in Newhall, California. The pilot, directed by New Zealander Jeff Murphy, was shot in Mescal, Arizona and the Dragoon Mountains of Arizona, near Tombstone. The pilot was scripted by Chris Black and late writer-director Frank Hugh Dobbs. Plot: 7 men from the western United States band together and form the law in a town that, for better or for worse, needs their protection from the lawlessness of the West. They consist of an infamous gunslinger, an ex-bounty hunter, a smooth-talking con artist, a young Eastern amateur, a womanizing gunman, a freed slave-turned-healer, and a former preacher seeking penance. While they originally band together to protect a dusty Seminole village from renegade former Confederate soldiers, they later come together to protect a budding town from the constant riffraff that threatens to destroy it. Each character gets shot at least once, with varying degrees of severity, and 5, Chris, Ezra, Buck, Josiah, and Van, are jailed during the course of the series. Full recurring cast: Michael Biehn, Ron Perlman, Eric Close, Dale Midkiff, Andrew Carvovite, Anthony Stark, Rick Worthy, Laurie Holden, Dano Barron, Robert Vaughn, Johnny Luckett. The Magnificent Seven. Chris Larrabee, played by Michael Biehn. Larrabee is closely based on the Chris Adams character, played by Yul Brynner in the original film. His wife and son were murdered before the start of the series, and this has turned him into a reserved but deadly individual. He is on a personal quest to find out who killed his wife and son. This is a recurring theme through several episodes in the series. Van Tanner, played by Eric Close and based on the role of Van held by Steve McQueen in the original 1960 movie. He carries a mare's leg, as McQueen's character Josh Randall did in Wanted, Dead or Alive. Van is a former buffalo and bounty hunter and a superb tracker. He and Chris originally began the group by coming together to rescue Nathan from a lynching. Vin's mother died from putrid fever when he was 5 years old, and he has spent time living among Native Americans. He was framed for a murder he did not commit and has a price on his head. Ezra Standish, played by Anthony Stark. Ezra is a Southern con man and gambler with elements of Lee, Britt and Harry Luck. Ezra struggles the most with moral dilemmas as he knows his con artist ways are unethical. He is one member of the group most affected by parents, namely, his mother, a grifter herself who taught him everything he knows. However, he doesn't seem to realize until he joins the group that his mother's teachings were wrong. Josiah Sanchez, played by Ron Perlman. He is a preacher and former gunfighter who has trouble forgiving himself for acts he committed in the past, but is an intelligent man providing religious, spiritual and legal counsel and aid to others. In his dress and in his nature, Josiah is more or less based on the character of Levi Morgan from Guns of the Magnificent Seven. Josiah provides for his sister, who is mentally ill, and bears animosity towards his father, who was a missionary. Nathan Jackson, played by Rick Worthy. Nathan was a former slave who served as a stretcher-bearer in the Union Army, and learned a great deal about medicine during that time. He serves as the group's healer and has a practice in town. In the first episode, he falls for Rain, a girl from the Seminole village the group protects. She later comes back in the second season and their relationship rekindles. Nathan is an expert knife thrower and carries a set of 3 knives always strapped to his upper back. His character has many similarities to the character Cassie in the Guns of the Magnificent Seven. J.D. Dunn, played by Andrew Carvovite. J.D. came from the East Coast where his mother was a servant and he served as a stable boy. His mother saved money to send him to college. But there wasn't enough, so instead he came out west to become a gunfighter. In the pilot episode, he offers his help to the other men in the fight on behalf of the Seminoles, but he is rebuffed. He follows anyway and eventually convinces Chris to stay with the group. He is loosely based on the character of Chico in the 1960 original, as the slightly off-kilter, hot-headed young greenhorn with little experience but quite a bit of zeal. He is shown throughout the series to look up to Chris, but it is Buck who takes the young man under his wing and teaches him how to stay alive. Buck Wilmington, played by Dale Midkiff. Buck is an old friend of Chris and the womanizer of the group, seizing any opportunity presented to flirt with any woman who'll have him. At one point he reads about animal magnetism in a magazine and it becomes a running gag in regards to his character. He has a great fondness for JD, and takes the younger under his wing, teaching him the tricks of the West and offering advice. Buck's character was most likely based on Colby, from Return of the Seven. Additional characters: Mary Travers, played by Laurie Holden. She is the editor of the local newspaper. Daughter-in-law Warren Travers. She is a widow with one son, Billy. She plays the potential love interest for Chris. Orrin Travers, played by Robert Vaughn. He is the local circuit judge. Casey Wells, played by Dana Barron. She is a local tomboy, and potential love interest of JD. Maud Standish, played by Michelle Phillips. She is Ezra's con artist mother. Episodes: Season 1, Season 2 DVD releases. MGM Home Entertainment has released the entire series on DVD in Region 1. Season 1 was released on December 6, 2005 and Season 2 on May 22, 2007. They also released a complete series set on May 13, 2008.